I'd like to call the November budget workshop to order here at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, November the 13th. And remind that obviously we're a committee of the whole here. All right, we haven't done this in a few months. We haven't gone through our dashboard or the departmental report since August because we were doing budget matters in September and October. So we haven't visited this in a little while, and not a lot of alarming things here, but certainly items worth discussing. So if you look at your dashboard and see that recognizing things through October, this is we are 83% of the way through our fiscal year through October 31st. So reminding you that given our 5% of tolerance on any of our income or expense line items or categories, anything that is any revenue line item less than 78% and any expenditure line item greater than 88 would gain the red cautionary symbol and make it worthy of our discussion. Of course, you can discuss anything else in the meantime as we look at each of these four funds. So looking down our first general fund dashboard report, we see that sales tax is tracking at 73%. Of course, that is due to the fact that we are on a 60-day lag. That's a given and understood by all of us. I did a little math though, and if you look at this and know that this is through October 31st, but know that the revenues recognized on here are through, really because of the 60-day lag, through August. If you take the 20,747,777 figure that we've realized year to date through what is essentially August, divide it by 8 and multiply it times 12 on a pro rata basis, it comes to a little over $31 million in potential, if we track similarly throughout the end of the year, on potential sales tax revenue. Now obviously we can't guarantee this figure of 31 million plus. Sean, in meeting with him, did indicate that through the third quarter we were tracking year over year, third quarter to third quarter, 17 versus 18, we were tracking how much more?
10.4%.
10.4% for, third quarter over third quarter. So, and keeping in mind that we always get quite a good bump in sales tax during the Christmas season, towards the middle end of November into December. There is good reason to believe here, at the very least, if we're going to prognosticate, that we will at the very least top 30 million in sales tax revenue, probably more. But if it's 30 million, let's just say for conservative discussion purposes, we top 30 million, that's $1.5 million over our budget line item of 28.5 million or 475. So the news here is good, and we're tracking well in the world of sales tax.
Looks like you're 1.5 right now from last year.
Yeah, and plus we are right now. So, and it could that differential could grow over the next couple of months. Mm-hmm. All right, our next red line item is state aid other. Now, if you look at your comment sheets here, the main components in this amended budget figure of $9.767 million. It started out at 7.4, but we had some amendments to it because of some grants we received in some of these categories during the year. The mental health portion of that $9.7 million is 3.3. We've only realized 39% of that to date. And according to our treasurer Bowerman, this is a category, obviously, so if we've only realized $1,208,000 or so of that 3.3, that means we got another couple of $1 million to recognize there. Now, Sean, you indicated that would likely, in this mental health category, be something we would not see hit this dashboard in that particular category till the end of the year, correct? And that is because of how you're able to recognize revenues in that subcategory.
The way the mental health revenue works, it's a direct offset to the mental health expenses. It'd be the health, piece of the health on the expenditure side. So is if they don't expend all their expenses, the revenue's not gonna be totally realized either, so it is a one-to-one offset for them.
Okay. The next component of that state aid other E9 emergency 911 grants, we've collected or recognized about 23% of that $610,000 portion of this line item. Excuse me, 23% of which is a little over $140,000. So obviously, you know, there's going to be about you know, 470 or so to recognize there. That needs to be claimed according to Sean. The respective department will need to claim that in order for us to collect it. Mass transportation aid, it's a $708,000 subcategory within this state aid other. We're only 11%, we've only recognized 11% of that, which is about, you know, $78,000. So we have probably about a little over 600,000 to be recognized there. That needs to be claimed as well. And economic development grants, at a $1.3 million portion of this state aid other. We're at 31%, or roughly 403,000. So we got another 900,000 or so to be claimed there. Now, Sean, the claiming that has not occurred yet is not because of any negligence on the department's behalfs. It's just
most of these are timing issues.
Okay.
Particularly, like I said, with economic development, like I said, that a good chunk of that is the bike path, which they totally completed the project, so I believe most of that has been claimed.
Okay.
It just hasn't been received yet.
All right.
So do we think we're gonna, other than the mental health, do we think we're gonna receive pretty much all of that?
I know, particularly with the 911 money, that was a resolution that was passed a few months ago. But again, that's on a reimbursement basis. What he spends is what he's claimed for.
Okay.
All right, our next red category, federal aid, DSS. You have a memo here from Michelle Russo, our Director of Finance in DSS. And essentially what this memo says is she has filed claims through the month of September, which is as good as we can be here on November 13th. Because we look for the Octobers to be filed by the 20th of the following month, and feels that we should, according to Sean's dialogue with her, be filing the October claims within 2 weeks. So it may go a little over, but certainly, you know, not lagging behind as it once did perhaps last year. Reconciliations are, as you can see, where the heck is it? In the opening line, she has done her reconcilements through July 2018. So that's also some decent news in that regard. If you recall, when Bonadio came in here to help them along with this, they were looking for kind of a 5-month lag between where we were on our dashboard and where reconcilements may have been lagging behind. So obviously, if the reconciliations are done through July, that's the 7th month. October 31st obviously is the 10th month. So the reconcilements and reconciliations appear to be right now about 90 days behind, which is within the 5 months of tolerance that they prescribed once Bonadio came through to help them take care of this, you know, more efficiently. So, you know, all in all, we're at 66% here, but certainly in a position to track okay when it comes to federal DSS. And our last red category on general fund. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, Legislator Kelly.
In regards to the memo,
Yes.
So the foster care block grant, is that much money of the state reimbursable?
Sean?
The foster care block grant, it has a cap. Once they meet that cap, it has to be applied to something else. So a good chunk of that receivable is that block grant because there's a lot of different programs. that
Because it's a
get
big
lumped in.
difference between what we've claimed and what we've received.
Correct. Like I said, on the dashboard, once she submits a claim is when we recognize the revenue, so that's why you'll see a considerable amount of revenue showing in the book. But, yes, what she's
But
saying is,
She has like 4.6 million in claim, but we've
there's
only
3
received.
million outstanding.
Yeah.
That's what, she said the majority of that
Is
block.
okay.
All set, legislative code?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Intergovernmental charges, small line, category here, adopted budget 667,000. And, our typical contributors to this lagging behind, once we get the election chargebacks collected, which are expected to be in the next 30 days, that should help move this closer to the green. And just for your edification, jail boarding, at 30% of its $175,000 portion of this category, 53,500 is 30%. So it doesn't appear that we're going to recognize the 175,000 in foreign prisoners and jail boarding that was budgeted. On the expenditure side, transfers out, transfer to the county road fund was 100% expended. That's why that one is at 95% right now. So unless there's any other questions, we'll move to the county road fund. Our first red category there, the state aid, this is the CHIPS money. The reimbursements have been obviously flowing in, reimbursement claims since as work was being done in the summer and into the fall. So we expect this obviously to catch up to the amended budget amount as we submit claims for it. And transportation at 95%, and that's because the snow contracts have been paid in full. That's why that's exceeding the 83 percentile there, and we're all aware of that. Onto the road machinery fund, really not, much worth talking about here. The transfers in, it's on an as-needed basis from the general fund. They haven't needed it so far, so Sean, do you anticipate they'll need any of that? Or are we past the point where they would ask for it?
It's possible now, because like I said, they've been using the revenue they've been receiving, but it's possible towards the end of the year.
Okay, all right. All right, self-explanatory, and then on to the health insurance fund. Our only red category, intergovernmental charges. And that will look to correct itself by the end of November on our December dashboard, because Sean has informed me that third quarter billing has been received this month, and obviously that will put that back on track by the end of November. So unless there's any other questions, that's it for our dashboard. Moving on to the November departmental reports. I was given these on Friday at my meeting with Sean and Matthew, our executive, was there as well. Just going through it, and certainly not doing lip service to anything, but obviously auditing, no red flags. Board of Elections, you can see there's a couple of lines here where we typically don't see them on this departmental report. I don't think anything is going to amount, from, as you can read this along with me here, to anything monumental in cost. There's a possibility of going over budget after the general election. Workers are paid on one line item. There's a possible shortage due to unexpected payout on October with the deputy commissioner. That's item C there, line 4438. It appears as though if you look underneath and under the any anticipated transfers, expenses, that will be, that $2,000 item there will be handled through an internal transfer. So nothing alarming, and it appears as though they have also taken the opportunity to remind us that their budget was cut $25,000 again. You know, but I don't, you know, according to administration, it's likely not going to be needed. Central purchasing, nothing strange there. County attorney, county clerk, county treasurer, sales tax continues to exceed budget, which we just talked about. Data processing, we have this typical list of things that we're used to seeing here, but obviously nothing that's going to impact our fund balance. No red flags with the DA, no red flags with economic development, no red flags with emergency management. History and archives, okay. Mental health appears to be something that there's going to be a resolution up to adjust incoming state aid. However, it's going to be some pass-through funding, as you can see, in the impact on the fund balance, so they're not going to be asking us for anything there. Personnel, Nicole has indicated that there will be a resolution for funds submitted for professional services. They're over budget a little bit, and we'll need monies to cover the remainder of the year's anticipated cost. And I asked Executive Ossenforth texted me late in the day and said he would not be able to make the meeting tonight. Something came up. I said, you know, do you have any explanation for me here with this potential fund balance transfer? He called Nicole and he got back to me, and she thinks if she needs anything, it will not be a figure that would exceed $10,000. You know, so more to come on that, but certainly not an alarming dollar figure.
Do we know what professional services are additional costs?
Sean?
I believe it has to do with some labor issues that are not outside the normal, outside of the norm.
So let me know.
Yeah, it's from
Yep. That's what the acronym was there. Sorry about that. The RWGM.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry about that, Legislator Pertel. I should have acronymed you on that one.
If it was at a full board, I wouldn't be able to.
You're ruthless. All right, probation, no red flags. Public defender, non-public health, nothing. Public works, I think Eric just felt like writing this month. But nothing alarming here, but certainly something worth discussing just in concept is the fact that the auto parts arrangement has evaporated with Napa and IBS. Now, don't be alarmed, because I was reassured here. You see the verbiage there. Funds will also need to be transferred for the buyout of the stockroom with IBS and Greco Auto Parts. Contract was canceled November 1st. So I said, well, how much, you know, and Sean and Matt reassured me that there will be no dollar figure buyout, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, the money that, the transfer is requested is the money that was going to be spent for this IPS system is going to be transferred to start, to go back to doing it in-house. My understanding is the Napa, the individual with Napa that was doing the work did not want to be involved.
He wasn't stocking, I mean, that's part of the story I heard on Friday. Wasn't stocking nearly the width and breadth of parts that was prescribed to be when they delivered this dog and pony show to us last year. And so that's led to...
Is there a contract signed?
Yeah.
There was a contract, but they opted out.
They opted out.
They opted out.
Well, yeah.
Greco is Napa.
He's the local agent that
Yes.
the parent company commission to do this, so to speak, so.
And I guess between negotiations with the parent company and DPW, it was decided not to sign a new contract with the parent company.
Yeah, I wonder if we could invite that guy back, who suggested that. I was confused, as I recall. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, maybe I'll track him down on my own.
So,
I think you
so
will.
the
He's in
inventory-
Amsterdam.
So the inventory that we have is just, how's that gonna work?
Well, the inventory we had before they took over, they've been using that as needed,
Okay.
okay? And my understanding is they've been just stocking very limited stuff in the stock room. But my understanding was nowhere near as stocked as legislator just
It was
saying
that
was
much.
their
Yeah,
dog.
because that was supposed to either have, like,
Yeah,
every part
That
we
was-
need, break them, and
Yes.
then I have to wait,
bless you.
and have it delivered and blah, blah, blah.
That was, my understanding that was not happening. There
The
was still
delivery,
considerable,
the delivery was still going on a daily basis, so there shouldn't be much of a,
So was there any
Transition.
loss to the county as far as downtime or extra expenses for parts that maybe and we were supposed to save a lot of money here.
Austin?
in theory, we were supposed to save a lot of money.
Well, yeah, that was what was presented to us, but Duke didn't understand that.
I think he understand it quite good, it's just to see what happened here.
Well, what were.
I don't believe we took a major loss in
Yeah.
this, but I don't believe we saved what was.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that we didn't take a loss because
I haven't seen the numbers, but I believe what happened is the commissioner, DPW did an analysis and determined that moving forward, it would be more of a cost savings just to do it in-house.
Okay, thank you.
The commissioner and the auditor, and what did our auditor?
Yeah, the auditor was.
The auditor was involved in the whole process too, and he.
I remember when he was here, he was saying, I'm
Yep.
working on the, you know,
Obviously, it led to this.
I believe when the initial letter from the auditor went out, and that's when Rico started really deciding he did not want to be involved in the reporting.
Because we were holding his feet to the fire, right?
yes.
Okay. All right, well then, I guess we're better off.
So are we not the norm again? Because when he was here, he was saying how they helped all these other municipalities.
I don't know, we're gonna have to call him back in and get his reinterpretation.
Exit interview?
Yeah, I guess you'd call it that.
Marvin does prove that we're doing a much better job in-house than we can do.
Well, maybe we should market ourselves that.
All right, looking through the rest of this, no other alarming things. You see social services indicating that there should be some transfers, but nothing that's going to require fund balance. So, all in all, a good departmental report for October. Is there anything anybody else would like to discuss at this time? Legislator Sweet.
It doesn't really pertain to budget and finance, but we're gonna be getting a resolution from the IEA this month, looking for us to approve a pilot for the solar farm. And I sent an email to Megan just to get it, because if you remember, a few months ago, we passed a resolution opting out of pilots for solar farms. Can you explain what you emailed me back, because I don't want to try and mess it up.
Sure. Yeah, your question was, since we had opted out of the tax, could we do a pilot? And they're under two separate provisions of state law. So what our opt-out was very specific to real property tax law, which normally would, by default, grants an exemption to solar, wind, different kinds of renewable energy entities for the cost of the improvement. We tried a pilot program, which we were allowed to do under that state law, and then ultimately decided just to opt out of it, which is separate and distinct from what the IDA can do with pilots. So they're not looking to do a 487 exemption, they're looking to do just a straight up pilot.
Okay, I just wanted to bring it to light, so when we get this resolution this month, you look back and say, well, we passed a resolution saying that we didn't want to do pilots, now being asked to do a pilot. So does this, if we approve this resolution, does it make prior resolution moot? Or
Is it a contradiction, or is it not because one's one type of pilot program and the other's another type of pilot?
They're two separate pilot programs.
Okay.
So along, just for you guys to understand this, so along with the county doing the resolution, the other municipalities that are involved in it are doing the same resolution. So Town of Mendon, Fort Plain School District, Town of Canterbury, and Canterbury School District, and they all, 2 of them have passed. Mendon, we're doing ours Thursday night, and I think the counties will be the last one.
And those municipalities are
So
opted
we
for-
opted out in the Town of Mendon, we opted out of, it's 487B.
So you opted out of
We
that.
opted out of it, but we are agreeing to the pilot proposed by the IDA, because it's, like she said, a different section.
All right, thanks for that clarification. And is there any other business to discuss?
On the desk, we have this place on our desk, November 5th. It's dated November 27th for the,
That's coming up next week at committee, so you guys have to have it 10 days prior to.
can we discuss the financial component of this a little bit here? Or rather not?
Technically discuss it with the sponsor a second at committee
At committee level.
when it's brought.
So it'll be on your committee
I won't be here.
agenda next Tuesday.
I won't be here, so I'll submit an email about it.
Okay. Is there any other business to discuss? Because if not, we will need a motion to go into an executive session to discuss some litigation. Legislator Sweet, do we have a second? Legislator Pertel, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion to come out of executive session, Legislator Patel, second by Legislator
And
Kelly.
no action was.
No action was taken. All right, anything anybody else would like to discuss on camera?
Yeah, when are we gonna get the camera back online?
Yeah, I asked that question a little while ago.
So
But
they've lost personnel in data processing, and they're doing some shifting around, and the employee that's working on it now is trying to start from now and go backwards to get, he has about 6 of them completed, but has not uploaded them yet.
I don't really care what the excuses is we have here. We need to get it done.
all right, a motion to adjourn the budget workshop. Legislator Sweet, second by Chairman Hedwell. In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.